as you wish.
It's been about a month since my video about the Suicide Squad game. Since then, Season 1 has been released along with the Joker. In the last video, I said that the Joker wouldn't save this game, and I got some comments agreeing with me. In the video, we also saw that the game was doing very poorly player count-wise. It was beaten by almost all the Arkham games and by co-op games that were over a decade old. I wonder how the developers and publishers feel about the performance of the game so far.
People say that time heals all wounds.
So let's see if time has been good for the game and if things have gotten better or not. So Rocksteady, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Let's see how you did. Oh wow, that's not good. Who would have guessed that no one would like Season 1 of a game that had poor reception and nobody played? It's not like I, along with others, didn't call this in my other video or anything. The big selling point of this season is the inclusion of the Joker, who, as I described in my last video, is a joke.
This is the worst!
Unlike the Marvel's Avengers game, which just gave you the new characters, you have to grind to unlock the Joker, so you get to have fun playing the same kinds of missions you already got bored of weeks ago. Or if you don't want to do that, you can pay $10 in Luther coins to unlock him, which I bet all you gamers are jumping out of your seats out of joy after hearing that.
What? But you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed?
That sounds like such a great deal, to spend $10 to get a character that plays basically the same as the others, except that he has different traversal and ultimate moves, not to mention you can just get him for free. You'd probably have more fun just setting your money on fire than spending it on that. Yes, I can confirm that was probably a more fun and less shameful use of your money. From what I've heard, the Joker plays alright. His traversal is to glide with an umbrella, which I feel is more of a penguin thing, but whatever. But how much does that matter when you've already beaten the game? You want to just grind more as the Joker, you absolute madman? It's like when I beat a Pokemon game and catch a legendary after. It's cool that I have it now, but I've already beaten the game, so there's not a whole lot to do with it. One big difference between that and the Joker is that usually the legendary Pokemon are cool, while this Joker is kind of the worst. He looks like the Netflix original version of Jared Leto's Joker, and I don't mean a good Netflix original like Stranger Things. He looks like he would be the star of a Netflix high school drama called High School's a Joke. He's out here making the characters in the Saints Row reboot look like actual gangsters. Does anyone actually like this design of the Joker? Let me know in the comments what you think. This has to be one of the worst Jokers ever. I said one of the worst. As I stated before, you need to grind a bunch of missions that could take you hours to unlock the Joker. Then you have to beat Brainiac again. But get this, instead of him being a copy of the Flash, now he's a copy of Green Lantern. Impressed yet? I bet you're already running to your credit card and hopping onto Steam just for a chance at that. That is, if you're not already one of the 3 people that bought this game. So far, Season 1 has given us a new character that we need to either grind boring missions for hours for, or pay our precious Luther coins for. What else has this jam-packed season brought us? One of the cool new features is that you can play on a new map that's a funhouse version of Metropolis.
Oh.
From what I've heard, it's basically just a reskin of the regular map. How fun. The new season also added new weapons based on the Scarecrow. The weapons are themed after him, and they have a new status effect, which is poison. I've made fun of most of the new additions, but I don't think this is a bad one. I think it's a cool idea to release new weapons based on villains, which is what it looks like they are doing, with some other gear modeled after Mad Hatter being added as well in this season. Another thing that has been added is Elseworld incursions. I didn't know what that sentence meant, so after further research, it appears that there are challenges that give you the Scarecrow gear and and other things. There's one more super cool feature that this season brings, the game's very first Battle Pass. You can buy it, then unlock skins and emotes. I know you're probably rolling your eyes, but this pass is actually a bargain. You'll earn enough Luther coins from it to pay for the next Battle Pass, which may or may not happen. I've heard the Battle Pass is very grindy, which I don't understand why you'd want to grind in a game like this. I can understand grinding in RPGs or grinding a Battle Pass in a multiplayer game like Fortnite, since it's a multiplayer game and it doesn't feel as grindy to keep playing a multiplayer game. But from what I've heard, this game is already pretty repetitive. Once you beat it, why would you want to keep doing the same thing? It's not like new campaigns or expansions are coming out, you're just doing the same stuff you already did during the story. You don't even fight a new boss, you just fight Brainiac again, but now he's using Green Lantern's moveset. That's so lazy and sounds so boring. Do gamers really want to come back to this game just to do more of the same stuff to earn new costumes to flex on nobody with? I don't think so. I think they'd rather just mourn the loss of their money and time playing this game and play something else. I probably don't need to say it, but players were pretty disappointed with this update. It was Rocksteady's one big chance to turn things around and make the game worth playing. They fumbled it, and now the game's probably not going to go anywhere. Before I come to any conclusions about the game's future, let's take another look at the player count of this game. Just a quick note, I am only using Steam player counts, but I think we can use this to generalize the player counts across all platforms. In my previous video about this game, which you should check out after this one if you haven't seen it, we saw that the average 30-day player count was about 970 players. During that time, the game was on sale, which may have affected the player count. A few days after releasing the video, I noticed that the 30-day player count average was already dropping. In the comment I pinned to the video, I noted that the player count had already dropped from 970 to 662, which is 308 less than when I got the data for that video. What's crazy is that number came only 3 days after I released the video, which means it was a pretty quick drop off. Let's see how Season 1 has helped the player count. Season 1 was released on March 28th. Here's a graph showing March 18th to April 5th. Before the release of the Battle Pass, the player count floated from around 400 to 600 players. On the day the pass came out, it jumped up to a peak of about 3,000 players. Over the next few days, it had about 1,000 to 1,500 players. It's kind of sad that the season didn't even bring back players long term at all. The day after it came out, the player count dropped by about 2,000 players. At the end of this time period, the player count was about 400. Let's look at what the player count looks like now. Here's the graph from April 5th to now. Well, what do you know? I was right. The player count is pretty meager now. The average player count for the last 30 days is 547, which is 423 less than a 970 average player count in the last video. That's almost a drop off of half. Actually, I think now it's about a third of that number. That 547 number includes the big boost the game got for a few days when Season 1 was released. If you look at the numbers now, it's hovering around 100 to 300 players. The 24-hour peak as of recording is only 244 players. That's really bad. There's tiny cities in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming with a higher population than that. I think we can safely say that the Joker, along with the rest of Season 1, did not save this game, as was predicted. This game is even more dead than it was in the last video I made about it. There were a good amount of people in the comments of that video who defended the game, which is fair. It's not a completely awful game, and I can see people enjoying it. But I wonder if you still feel that way. Do you still want to keep grinding on and on? Are you looking forward to the future seasons of this game? Speaking of future seasons, let me know if you think this game is going to have future seasons. I think it might, but I would be very surprised if it had as many as they originally planned, especially with the player count being where it is now. I talked about this game in my first video, which was about developers chasing trends. These companies need to stop trying to follow big trends, especially when it doesn't make any sense. I don't think it makes sense for this game to be a live service. It makes more sense for a game like Helldivers 2 or Fortnite to be one to me. This did not need to be one, and now they're paying the price for it. Maybe eventually they'll learn their lesson. They couldn't save the game, and it's more dead than ever. Only time will tell if they give up on it or keep trying. We'll see which one they choose. What are your thoughts on this game? Do you think Season 1 was a failure? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, please subscribe and leave a like. Our new sub goal is to get to 500 subscribers. If you're part of the 99% of people who watch my videos and aren't subscribed, please subscribe for more quality content like this. If you have any suggestions for videos, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video and for your support of the channel.